What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Dan Mabry Project. This is episode 10 with Killian Hicks. Killian is really a cool guy. He's really kind of all over the place, but I think maybe that's why he grabbed my attention. He's a bit of a waterman. He's a paddleboarder, windsurfer. He's also dabbles in some photography and a little bit of promotion, and he stands up for what he believes in, and he's not afraid to voice his opinion, and he's also a big supporter of those around him, and those things definitely stand out to me about Killian. So I hope you enjoy this podcast, and I got some stickers coming soon, so maybe if you want a sticker, hit me up and I can hook you up. Hopefully get some shirts in the mix soon. Still got the Patreon account if you want to buy me a cup of coffee for putting out some content, for taking up an hour of your time for the day and entertaining you for a little while. If not, no worries. I'd love you subscribe to the YouTube. That would be awesome. I do put a lot of hard work into cutting and editing these videos. So, just show some love. Comment. Give me your opinion. Tell me what I could do better. Love you all. And thanks again for listening. Peace.
Yeah, it's crazy when things are like plugged in. There we go. Yeah, that works. That works, man.
All right, cool. Killian Hicks, aka Father Sean Misty.
That's me.
Dude, that's like the cleverest name I've ever seen.
Thank you, man.
I think obviously I found you on the internet.
Yeah.
I think it was through my cousin Harley Price.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, so Ricky is her boyfriend. Okay, yeah, okay, cool.
So I don't know him.
Okay.
But I just saw you got tagged in something or something that she posted or whatever, and looked into you a little bit and saw that you were involved in music and stuff like that. So I guess we went back and forth liking each other's stuff for a little while and getting on Facebook and all that stuff. But you just seemed like a really interesting guy, and
thanks, man. Yeah.
And more than anything, just like involved in a lot of things, and promoting a lot of local stuff, which is really what this is turning out to be a lot of.
Yeah, definitely. I can see that.
Is just trying to build connections and meeting people and that kind of stuff. But I don't know. The more I look into you, the more I find new things. Like I guess. First of all, what really piqued my interest is your love for surfing.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say, man. Like, I was talking to someone today when I told them what I was doing this evening. I was like, "Yeah, we met."
Pull the mic a little bit closer.
Right,
yeah,
sorry.
There you go.
I was like, "Yeah, we kind of met on social media," and he's like the only person in this area who, when I like share something about surfing, he like likes it or comments something that actually makes sense. I was like, "Yeah, this dude's really cool. I can tell."
Yeah, for sure. When did the WSL pique your interest, I guess?
It's honestly, I've been into surfing when I was in second grade, and I watched Lords of Dogtown when that came out.
Fair enough.
And ever since then, I was like, "That's what I want my life to be, man."
Yeah,
pretty much.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So I mean, I had the same thought whenever I saw you share that stuff. Like, nobody around here is sharing that. Yeah. And I really, like you say, I don't have anybody else to have a conversation about that, like, knows who John Florence is and that kind of deal.
Who? Who does he play football?
Yeah, exactly. So that's cool. Like, I noticed on your profile somewhere you labeled yourself as a waterman, and that's cool. Like, where did that passion for the water start out? Yes, better question. Where are you from?
I'm from West Monroe. I'm from West Monroe, Louisiana, born and raised.
You went to West Monroe?
No, I went to Washita Christian.
Okay.
Graduated in 2016.
All right. Fair enough.
So, a private Christian school kid, doing the good thing.
Yeah. Tanner Wyatt?
Yeah, he was a few years ahead of me, but small school, you know how that goes, man.
For sure.
So, like, I kind of knew him.
Yeah.
So,
I grew up with him.
Oh, cool.
He was my pledge brother over here at Louisiana Tech in Signal. So
I gotcha. Cool.
We got a lot of memories together.
Yeah, a lot of good ones.
Yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
But from the waterman, I mean, that's just like a joking thing. Like, obviously, like, to be a waterman, you got to be like Kai Lenny, Laird Hamilton, crazy good at everything you do and do it all.
For sure.
But that whole lifestyle of always being drawn to the water is something I've always been attached to, and wanting to see what I can do with myself in the water is where that came from. And so that's what got me into stand-up paddleboarding, into surfing, bodyboarding, all sorts of stuff. Now I'm getting into windsurfing, which is insane. But it's all that drive to like push myself farther, pretty much, is where it came from.
Cool. So when did all that start, do you think?
Probably I've always been interested in it, but when I really started actually doing it was in college, like my freshman year of college, like fall, spring of 2017.
And speaking on college, I saw you were like on the track team or something?
Yeah. My freshman year, I got recruited for baseball and track to a few different universities, and I chose track at ULM and did that my freshman year. And so that was an experience, man.
What did you do in track?
I was a middle distance guy,
Okay.
so I did the 400 hurdles, the 800, and the 4x4. And so those are my three. And it was definitely a culture shock going from 1A, like Louisiana State high school sports, to national D1 sports, where I'm 19 years old, a freshman, running this like indoor 800 for the first time. And there's a dude next to me who's 26 at a senior, and I'm just like, I can't compete with that, you know?
Yeah, you never seen that level of competition ever. So.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's interesting. That's pretty cool though that you got to experience that.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
So I mean, I guess you finished at ULM.
No, I'm a senior this year.
Okay,
Yeah.
Fair enough. What are you studying?
I'm in communications, PR, and journalism.
Okay. So, what's the goal with that? I guess.
The dream would definitely be journalism. I love to write, especially about like outdoor stuff, music stuff like that. But PR would kind of make the money, in all honesty, and it's a little bit easier to get into. And so, kind of, like I said, the dream's journalism, PR if it doesn't work out, pretty much.
Fair enough.
So.
Talk directly.
Okay, sorry, man.
No, you're good. I just want to make sure everybody hears what you're saying.
I feel you, man. That's fine.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, looking back on it, I kind of wish I had gone back that route or architecture or something, you know, that I could like get creative with, I guess. And I studied marketing, so
yeah, that's still a good one, though.
Yeah, I mean, there's some creative stuff in there, but I guess I'd never really figured it out. But anyway, yeah, so, I mean, I guess, obviously, I had a passion for the water as well. Growing up with the river right there, it's, obviously, you were driving over it every day.
Yeah, exactly.
But when did you get into H2Go? And I know you worked there, and you've been promoting that super heavy. Like, that's kind of how I found out about it, is because it's just here recently in the past couple months, like, y'all have really been pushing it on social media.
Yeah, we really have been trying to blow up social media in the past, like you said, couple months. We just made a move from Antique Alley. We're on Desert Street, Monroe, with everything's going that way, so we wanted to be a part of it.
Right by Austin's, yeah? You're close to Austin's?
Yeah, if you know where Rain Salon is, it's what the old Duck and Dressing used to be.
Okay.
Right there by like Two Dudes Barbecue, right in that kind of epicenter is where we are.
All right. Yeah, things are really growing right there.
Yeah, it's really blowing up. But I got into it 2 years ago now, and I think about it. It was crazy. It was a small business Saturday, which is in November, and I was like, I'm just going to go to Antique Alley and go to every small business in downtown West Monroe. And was walking, going to different things. I kind of walked by, and I was like, oh, yeah, look, there's a board shop. That's cool. And I kind of stopped. I was like, wait, there's a what? And so I spun around and went back in and hit it off. Ethan, who you just had on, he was in there. And Mark, the owner, he was in there and just like hit it off with those guys.
Yeah.
And kind of never left, pretty much, where I just stuck around, was always helping them out. And eventually Mark was just like, hey, man, you looking for a job? And I was like, heck yeah, let's do this. And so it's kind of blossomed from that pretty much. And I've been there ever since.
That's awesome. Did you know Ethan prior to that?
No, I met him that day and then Paxton like the next week.
Okay.
So
yeah, they seem to be somewhat of a package deal sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can't separate them, man.
Awesome dudes, though.
Yeah.
Cool. And so that thing's obviously grown over the past since you've been there. And I know y'all like put on some events and stuff like that. And can you go into a little more detail about that?
Yeah, we offer a few different events, from like our private, we do guided river tours on the river, where we offer some different 7-mile, 2-mile trips where we literally, like, you just show up, we have the kayaks for you, we take you to them, you paddle down the river where your car's parked, and then you go. And so it's super easy, super fun. We do those. We do like paddle fitness classes, which is like yoga on a paddleboard, which blows people's minds apparently. And then we do a couple races. We have one coming up on the 28th of March. It's a 49-mile race on the Ouachita. So it's not for like the faint of heart.
Yeah, I think I saw that.
Yeah.
Like starts in Lazar Park or something.
Yeah. There's one that starts in Lazar, and then they have a 28-mile, the halfway point. So if you're not as hardcore, some of those 49er guys, you can still do it.
Yeah.
And get some long distance racing. And then in September, we always do one called the River Rat Paddle Challenge, and that goes from Bayou Darbone at Joe Bob's down to Traps. And it's like a little 6-mile kind of benefit race challenge.
Yeah.
Thing. And so it's a lot of fun for a lot more people can do it.
Yeah, that sounds more of a community event.
Yeah, exactly.
Bringing all the people together in one spot.
Mm.
That's cool. It's definitely obviously you guys are taking advantage of what we have here in the area and having fun with it. So.
Yeah, definitely.
And do y'all just have paddle boards or
No, we
kayaks?
have two paddleboard brands. We have Boat, which is out of Fort Walton Beach, Florida, and then Soul, which is out of Telluride, Colorado. And then for kayaks, we have Bonafide Kayaks, which is out of North Carolina, and then Vibe, which is out of Georgia. And so kind of some different stand-up paddle options and some fishing kayaks pretty much.
And I've seen like the boat stuff. The more that I looked into it, like there's some like little outboard engine model stuff like that.
Yeah, they've really kind of brought a whole change to stand-up paddling with throwing a motor on the back, which dude, that came out of like they're just still like, what can we do? And like, let's put a friggin' motor on this thing,
Yeah.
And so they literally just threw a motor on the back of a board, and it's revolutionized stand-up paddle fishing as it can be, because you can go instead of 15 miles, however far you want to paddle, now you can go 200 miles, and so really
That's
get
awesome.
out there and do some fishing. And so
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like the perfect thing for South Louisiana and just the bayous around here and stuff like that.
They actually did a really cool video. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's in Venice, Louisiana, with two fishing guides. It's called Red and Brown. It's a really, really well done video that Boat did.
Yeah, I think I have watched some of that. They've had some really high quality commercials.
Yeah, their guys, their director of photography, Sean Murphy. I've actually talked to him a little bit. He's a really cool dude, and he's been in the photography game since the 80s or 90s. It's kind of weird. He started out in the porn industry, and from there he got with like Weezer, and now he's like Weezer's official photographer. And then like somehow, I don't even know how he met the guys from Boat, but now he's with Boat, and they do everything together.
I'd love to hear that story.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the dude's just a maniac. Like, he's crazy,
That's
but he's a
nuts.
good photographer.
And you mentioned that you do some media, some photography type stuff as well.
Yeah, I'm getting into it. I had just been doing like digital media promotion and stuff like that, kind of going along with the PR major. But I just got a film camera a while back, and so I'm starting to get into actual film photography. And so
Cool. What kind of camera?
Canon AE1.
Man, that's what I've been looking at. I've been handed down some old film cameras
cool.
and broken them.
Yeah,
just because they're just like never taken care of. And, they just were worn out. So.
Yeah.
I've messed with that a little bit myself. It's definitely something that I would love to learn just because it's just a cool art form.
Yeah, and it's one of those, like, I feel like if people don't learn how to do it, it's going to be lost eventually. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, digital photography is great, and that's where everything is, but, like, we can't forget where it came from. Yeah,
Yeah, for sure. And just there's something so raw about it. And, I mean, it's... you only have one shot, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a big part of it. And I know I went through 3 rolls of film and got two pictures out of it.
Yeah, exactly.
I just was ruining film. Yeah. So, but that's cool. I've seen you get to travel a lot, or make it a point to travel a lot, I guess, and big activist in the environment and that kind of deal. Where does that passion come from, do you think?
A little with kind of the love of the outdoors. I want to protect it. I don't want to lose it, because it's what's the quote about America's national parks? It's our greatest resource. It's our greatest treasure. Yeah,
sure.
And so I don't want it
America's
to be gone.
best idea.
Best idea. That's it. Yeah. And so it just kind of comes with the territory. If you care about the outdoors, you have to protect it. And so it's one of those that with my travels going to Southwest Texas, Arizona, Utah, it's one of those I see the writing on the wall, like, yeah, there's coal and there's oil and there's uranium down there, and we got to stop them from getting it pretty much. I mean, that's how it goes. Like, I hate to say it, but these people want to take down the Grand Canyon because it's got, how many billions of dollars of uranium underneath it, but you lose the Grand Canyon.
For sure. And I know you have spent a lot of time in Southwest Texas, or I've seen that. What have you been doing down there?
It started out going on Thanksgiving break 2 years ago, going to Big Bend National Park, and I just found a love for the border country down there. Like, it's absolutely one of the most beautiful national parks I've ever been to. Have you ever been down there?
I haven't.
It's worth the 13-hour drive, I'll tell you.
Yeah, I've driven through there on the way to Arizona one time, but I never got to stop.
Okay. Yeah, it's the cool thing about Big Bend is that it's like 4 different parks in a park, where you have like a high mountain area where people ski from time to time, like Big Wall mountain climbing and everything. And then you have like your low desert, then you have your river valley, and then you have like kind of a plains, like grassy desert, all in one park. So you can spend 2 weeks there and do all sorts of things. And so I found a love through that. And then the surrounding towns around it, it's the Wild West down there, man. Like, it's still old school, like ghost town, cantina types. And
wow.
just like a cool group of people down there that's like kind of Towns Van Zandt, like artsy, but still rugged Western people. And it's just a really cool area that's still untouched.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's cool. I mean, you're definitely not hearing that version of it right now.
Yeah.
Out in the world.
Yeah.
But that's another conversation.
Yeah,
for
yeah,
another day.
yeah.
I guess I noticed. I saw something the other day you posted about you were living in California for a little while, or
yeah, I did a show with Facebook out there actually, like for their Facebook Watch streaming service, and so I got to spend a little time out in California doing that.
Well, what is that about? That sounds interesting.
Yeah, so
how did you get involved with that?
My girlfriend, she's an actress, and she has like a profile. It's kind of like almost like Tinder for actors, where it's like directors go on there and like, oh, I need this kind of actress, this kind of actor, and she got a hit from Facebook for this Facebook Watch called Makeup or Breakup, and premise of it is like couple goes on there, they have an issue, and Facebook literally decides while they're sitting there should they make up or break up. And it's cheesy as it sounds, man. Like, it's so bad, but it was free trip to California, $1,000, and food and Uber was paid for. And so we're like, heck yeah, let's do this.
Yeah.
You know? So I got to spend some time out there, and it was a lot of fun, I have to say.
That's a wild situation.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy, man. Yeah.
That's a good story to tell for the rest of your life.
Yeah, yeah.
Cool. I guess where else have you been? I know you're like trying to get to all the national parks.
Yeah. That's like the goal, is to get to all 60 now national parks. But from, like I said, California, it's all over Texas, Utah, Arizona, New Mexico. I spend most of my time in the West. I really like the desert, even though it's weird, like ocean desert. You don't think they'd mix, but it's like the two sides to me pretty much.
No, I'm the same way, dude. I can't get Colorado out of my head. I'm going snowboarding next like 2 weeks.
Dude, I wish
like,
I could.
But like you say, I like follow the WSL.
Yeah.
I've never been surfing. And like,
oh, really?
Don't really prefer the beach. Like, I really would not. I don't like the sand and like getting in all your crevices and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But and I don't know. The whole snowboarding deal is just propelled. And I don't know. I guess the ocean's that way too. But
yeah, definitely.
I guess it's just a skill that I've never been able to.
So that's one I've never been snowboarding. I always wanted to. So I'm pretty envious of you getting to go up to Colorado, man. That's
for sure.
Cool. It's pretty cool. What part are you going to up there?
We're going to Keystone.
Okay.
Yeah, we was up there for New Year's as well. So I used to live in Denver for a little while.
Oh, cool.
And
cool.
I lived there basically from April to June one summer, and there was still snow in April, so I got to snowboard a little bit in April. But yeah, it's something that's always piqued my interest, and while I was living in Denver, I was always climbing 14ers and like something about being up above 10,000 feet. It's just like makes you feel alive, man.
Definitely.
There's no other feeling about it. And I guess maybe it's just coming from living at sea level, below sea level most of our lives, and I don't know. It's a wonderful feeling.
It's almost like you can't register it, or at least to me. Like when I was at the Grand Canyon, and we're going down instead of up, obviously. When sitting there looking at it, like I almost couldn't fathom it. It was like I was looking at a postcard, because it's just so big and so deep that you're just like, dude, I've never seen anything like this. Being from under sea level, like you said,
For sure.
It's just unfathomable.
I've never gotten to go to the Grand Canyon.
Oh man,
I went to the Palo Duro Canyon in northern Texas.
Yeah.
One time when I was driving back from Colorado, I went through there and spent some time. It's a really cool place. I'd love to camp there.
Yeah.
They have a lot of good camping spots down in the bottom of the canyon. So
yeah, totally.
I think it'd be a really cool place to go back and visit.
Yeah.
Crap, this is kind of going by really quickly, and I didn't realize.
2 minutes in, man.
Yeah, for sure. Do you have any questions for me?
Yeah. I mean, like, how's all the podcast media stuff you've been doing going? It's been going pretty good.
Man, I'm one of those people who, like, I have to fall flat on my face in order to learn something.
Yeah.
And so I've continued to screw up, and
nice.
The episode that's coming out tomorrow, like, my guest is totally out of focus the entire time.
That's awesome.
The doorknob over there is actually in focus the whole time. So that's embarrassing. But at the same time, nobody else is going to fix it other than me. So
yeah, I feel you.
I'm just, it makes it really easy to like meet people like you.
Yeah,
like,
totally, man.
Cool people who are into it and down for what I'm trying to do and get across, and it's really easy it makes it a whole lot easier to meet people. I was thinking about that earlier. Like, yeah, you are coming into my house, into my environment, but like at the same time, we have common interest and
Yeah,
we've never
yeah.
met each other. So
Yeah.
it's like we just have it's an easy way to start a friendship. I don't know. I
totally,
think. So
totally, yeah.
yeah, it's going well. You know, it's not blowing up, but never expected it to, not from the beginning. And we're only like 6 weeks in now. So I've enjoyed it and really enjoyed the, seeing people that I never knew reaching out to me, or as easy it was for us to connect, like, and as pumped as you were about it, I mean, it just
it was so crazy, literally, because I talked to Pax and Ethan like the night before I'd hung out with them. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to like email him and or like message him and be like, hey man, can I come on the podcast? And literally like the next day you're like, hey, you want to come on the podcast? I was like, what are the odds? Yeah. That's so awesome.
Yeah, you had posted something and I was like, man, God, I've been putting this off too long. I need to link up with this guy. So
that's awesome.
I'm glad we could do it.
Yeah, totally.
I guess like, so you're still in school.
Yeah.
And, but I guess what media stuff have you been working on recently? Because I know you said you're like, talk about Astro Motel and that kind of stuff, and maybe some things you've done, experience with that.
With them, it's been awesome. It's they helped. I started a kind of a long story to how I became friends with them, I guess.
Yeah.
But I started a charity a while back called hashtag Spare Some Change, and what that was we have a homeless shelter in Monroe called the Desired Street Shelter on Desired Street, and it was in danger of shutting down due to lack of funding. And I was like, man, we got to do something, to help them out. And so I had the idea. I was like, I'm going to take mason jars to different businesses around town, and whatever people put in there, I'll just take to the shelter. It doesn't have to be like $1,000. If they put 25 cents, it'll add up, eventually. Yeah. And ended up like I started it back in April, and to this point, it's raised like $3,000 or $4,000, and so really blown up more than I ever thought it would for things being supported around here.
Yeah.
But Joel Jordan, the lead singer of Astro Motel, who I'd kind of like known those guys. I could tell like we were like kind of my tribe. Like I was gonna be friends with them. Like they had similar interests. But like we kind of knew each other, and he hit me up and he's like, "Hey man, we're doing a show at Live Oaks tomorrow. I want you to come talk about your charity at it." And I was like, "Heck yeah, dude, let's do it." And so kind of did it that one, then did it another night, and just kind of hit it off with those guys, and started hanging out with them. And now, like I said, I travel with them, do a lot of their road manager stuff, set up their sound system and everything, and do a little photography for them when I can. Like I said, still working that out.
Yeah.
But I'm currently, for working on stuff, I'm working on a feature article I'm writing about them. They have an album coming out on February 15th. They're doing a show at Enoch's to release the new album.
Sweet.
And I'm kind of doing like a press thing for that, and so kind of working in the process.
Well, I know we mentioned it maybe earlier, but that is something that I have to like push you on, promote you on, is that you promote a lot of local businesses and local people, and that's not something that everybody's doing.
I feel
and it's cool to see that you're not just some kid working at a paddleboard shop. Like you're like really wanting to promote it and the people and the things around you, and that's admirable, and it's something that I'm like starting to do myself, or realizing that I need to do is like, I want people to support me. I got to support them too.
Yeah,
so,
totally.
And like you say, I mean, we might as well. It's cool. It's what we're into. So especially with the paddleboard stuff and music and everything. So
where it came from, man, it's another kind of crazy story. It was one of the first time I went to Enoch's, where I'm at way too much, obviously, the local pub, but. I was there with some friends, and there's this dude, and he accidentally, we were sitting at a table, and he accidentally, elbows a friend of mine just, in passing, in the back of the head, and he's like, "Oh, dude, I'm so sorry, can I sit with you guys?" And we're like, "Yeah, why not? Come on, random drunk dude." So he sits down, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm not from here. I'm up for a wedding, and I want to know what's cool about Monroe, what's the best part of Monroe?" And we're all, this was 2-3 years back, we're all like, "Oh, dude, you're sitting in an Enoch's. This is it. Monroe sucks. You don't want to be here." He goes, "What have you done to change it?" And I was just like, dude,
whoa,
random drunk guy dropping the knowledge right now, And so that hit me. And ever since then, I wanted to try. I was like, he's right, man. We complain, but we don't do anything to make it better. And so ever since then, I got into promoting local bands, artists, businesses, whatever I could, just to help them out, and try to make this a better place to live for everybody. And so that's, like I said, that random drunk guy knowledge, man, is what changed everything for me pretty much.
That's pretty heavy.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially at Enoch's.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
everybody's just chilling.
Yeah.
I've kind of adopted a similar mentality here recently, just because. Whenever I left here to go to Denver, I felt that I had to get out of North Louisiana. I felt that there was nothing here for me, and I lived here my whole life, and I was just sick of it. And, coming back and starting this and doing some other media stuff that I've done is like, there are some cool people around here.
Oh, completely, man.
And they're not just a bunch of old people that have too much money and they're way too conservative. Like there are other people in the world, and there are other people here in Ruston and North Louisiana, and they are cool. And it's just a matter of putting yourself out there and reaching out and trying to make friends.
Yeah, totally.
Have you ever been to G-Rock?
Oh, yeah, dude. I have a membership there.
Yeah?
Yeah, I spend way too much money there.
Yeah.
Talk about Enoch spending too much money. G-Rock is where I spend too much money, man.
That's always something that's piqued my interest is the rock climbing. And I've done a little bit at the Lambright over here at Tech when I was in school.
Yeah, they have a little wall down there.
But what can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, dude, definitely. It's owned by a dude named Paolo, really awesome dude. And it's a really great starter gym. I'll say, like, it's a really, really awesome gym. If you've never rock climbed before and you're like, I want to get into this, it's the gym to go to.
Yeah.
Excuse me. It's not too massive, so you're not just gonna get like, oh my god, what do I do here? And they do a really good job of like, okay, this is how you put your harness on. This is the shoes you need. This is how you do this. Really break it down for you. And then all the members there are all super chill on the fact of like, they're not like, hey, this is my gym, man. What are you doing?
That was the only thing that I've heard about it is like, I know a guy who lives over in the Shreveport Bossier area. He was like, yeah, man, I've been going to this gym, this G-Rock climbing gym every once in a while. He was like, I was just like, how is it? He was like, dude, it is like super chill.
Yeah.
Everybody is super cool there, and nobody's pressuring you to do anything. Nobody's a jerk about anything. He's like, everybody kind of does their own thing, and people will give you advice if you're struggling or whatever. But like, that was what I heard. Is just
it's super chill. Like, it's funny even on some of the stuff because they have like bouldering, which is no ropes, where it's just 15 feet high, and then they have their like top rope and lead climbing, which is kind of like simulated big wall. And to like do the lead climbing or the top rope climbing, you have to do like a $20 course where you learn how to like belay and tie the ropes and everything. And I did it the first time I went because I was like, I know I'm going to be here, I need to do it. But after that, they told me, they were like, yeah, if you get like a member to show you, we don't care. That's good enough. And so like, you don't have to have any qualifications. Like, just get a member to show you. You'll be fine.
Just sign this sheet.
Yeah. As long as you sign the sheet, they do not care, man. But it's a really, like I said, good starter gym. They have from like on the bouldering wall, like literally VO, which is the easiest like child can climb, up to like V8 and V9, which is really heavy bouldering. And so they have a really wide range of difficulties for climbing. And so it's a really good way to kind of find out where you're going to be, and then like one day go outdoor, which is a whole nother level.
Yeah.
So,
have you have any experience with that?
Yeah, I've done some bouldering. I hadn't done any big wall yet. I really want to get into it one day, but I've done some bouldering in Austin, Texas, of all places, in the Greenbelt. I don't know if you've ever been there.
I haven't.
But it's literally this little park in the middle of Austin called Barton Springs Park, where they have these natural springs where you can go and chill in. And
I've heard about that. Yeah.
Like a 10-mile walking trail that has boulders all around it, even some big walls, which is just crazy because it's like I'm in the middle of Austin. But did some climbing there, did some in Utah and Indian Creek, which is near Bears Ears National Monument, and then some in New Mexico around Carlsbad Caverns. A little bit of bouldering there. Okay, so cool.
That's all. Again, something's always piqued my interest, and I've never really pursued it. So
yeah,
I'll have to get over there.
It's worth it. It's not as bad a drive for you, obviously, being here in Ruston, but it's definitely worth the drive over to Shreveport, and it's super cheap too. It's like $20 for your harness, shoes, and chalk bag, and then like it's $20 for all day climbing, then $5 for all your gear. So $25 you can climb literally all day. And so
cool. You got any other trips planned?
Nothing is set in stone yet. I'm probably gonna go back to Southwest Texas for spring break, just because
just school.
Yeah, exactly. At some point I want to go back to the Grand Canyon, do a rim to rim, which is normally like a pretty long, heavy hike, but I want to do it with this guy who I know in college who is a cross country runner, and semi-run speed hike it and see how fast I can do a rim to rim, which is gonna be pretty intense.
Have you ever done any long backpacking type stuff?
Not like too hardcore. This would be legit the first one, but I've done some like hiking pretty good, some pretty good backpacking, some overnight stuff, but nothing like that crazy. Yeah. And so it was just when I was there at the Grand Canyon, I was with like my parents and stuff, and so we could like kind of only go to their limitations, obviously. Right. And we went like 7.5 miles down, and I was like, yeah, I think I could do this. It's not, I mean, it sucks a little bit, but it's not too terrible. And so I think I could push through it and, make it to the other side.
So y'all are talking about like going ultralight and
and
jogging the whole way.
Essentially. Yeah. All the way down, all the way up.
Okay.
Because I talked to a couple guys there. When we were coming back up, they were finishing a rim to rim where they had jogged it. Actually, a rim to rim. And they looked exactly what you think like ultra trail runners would look like. Like they were wearing like, lightweight Camelback, short running shorts, and then had like gauges and long hair and beards. Like exactly what you think a like insane trail runner would look like. Like I was like, yeah, those guys like running Jesus, man. Like, that's exactly what they looked like.
Yeah, you are just insane enough to.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so I saw that. I was like, I'm not that crazy, but I'm kind of.
Yeah.
And so we'll make it work.
Cool.
But, yeah.
And I guess you still have that running background to some degree. You
Yeah.
still are active in that, I would imagine.
Yeah. Not in a little different sense. I'm kind of more into the trail running now than track running. But yeah, and so I've kind of never quit once I stopped running in college.
Fair
enough.
enough.
Yeah.
Let's jump back to the waterman stuff.
Okay.
Like, what you said you're getting into windsurfing.
Yeah.
Where did that come from, and where are you doing that? I guess.
Yeah, I'm doing actually on Lake Darbone.
Okay.
It's windy enough at times. It's not like optimal, obviously, but a guy that helps us out of the shop who lives on Darbone, Tony, he is big into windsurfing. He's been doing it for like 10 years and something like that. And it was one of those, I was like, I got to try this out, man. And so we had planned on doing like a paddleboard demo and windsurfing demo for people, and it got rained out, and so we couldn't do it. And then a few months later, we did it again, and I got to go and just fell in love with it. And it's the most technical of the water sports I've done, I'll say, like, because, I mean, reading the wind, knowing how it's coming across the water, and it's easy. What I'll say, going downwind, so easy. You just hold on, But when you have to turn around and come back upwind and start like doing all the actual sailing stuff, that's next level, and so that's the hard part.
Yeah.
And so I've had to do the walk of shame a few times where I kind of swim it to the bank and just walk it back, and so that's been disappointing, but it's part of learning.
Yeah, for sure.
But
it's the whole falling on your face.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and you fall a lot. Fall a lot, man.
That's cool. That's again something that you wouldn't think would happen in North Louisiana.
Yeah, no, definitely not. And like I said, it's not optimal, but we make it work with what we have, And so he goes over to like Dallas and stuff. There's a big windsurfing community there, and so he goes over there a lot. I've been trying to get out there with him once I actually know what I'm doing, pretty much. But yeah, it's a lot of fun, I have to say. When you really get going, it's kind of like you're talking about with snowboarding, where you're not propelling yourself. When you get that feeling of like, the wind's just taking me, like it's next level, man. Yeah. It's next level.
So did you like grow up wakeboarding, like that kind of stuff?
Actually, no, I didn't. I've wakeboarded once in high school, but never really done much. I've always wanted to. I really want to get into wake surfing, but or it's like some wake skiing or stuff like that.
For sure.
But hadn't had the chance to.
Yeah, wake surfing is a lot of fun. I haven't done it a whole lot of times, but it is a whole lot of fun.
Yeah, there's a dude.
You just need like a $80,000 boat.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You don't have one of those? Like really? Like come on. There's
fresh out.
Yeah, gee, dang it, man. I guess I'll have to run to the store. But there's a guy. One of the brands we sell, Haller Brothers, is out of Austin, and so I got to go meet all those guys when I went to Austin, and that's kind of the point of the trip. And one of the dudes, Tegan Gainan, is like a professional wake surfer, and that dude and surfer to be fair.
Yeah.
But that dude like is insane. Some of the stuff he does on a wake surfboard, like it's so cool. And that's what kind of anytime I see him post anything, I'm just like, dude, I want to do that. Yeah, like I want that to be me, man.
Yeah.
And so,
have you heard about like BSR Cable Park Surf Park?
Yeah.
So I went.
Oh, cool.
Maybe 6 months ago now.
Yeah.
They had a competition there. It was put on by Stab magazine.
Okay.
Stab Surf. So it was a Stab Surf high contest.
Ah.
And they can pump out a couple different waves there.
Yeah.
And basically the contest was just an air contest. So they put out the one wave that at the very end has a big ramp on it.
Yeah.
And so it was all aerial maneuvers.
That's dope, man.
And it was super cool, dude.
Yeah.
Like there were people there that you would recognize just like walking around and like names escape me at the moment, but like semi-famous, like in the surf community for sure.
Yeah, big enough that you're kind of like, I kind of want to take an Instagram picture with you.
Yeah, but like at the same time, it was such a like there was hardly nobody there.
Really?
So like
that's crazy.
Yeah, and like there's a big wall where all the surfers were hanging out, and like we could have totally just walked up there and just slapped hands with people, but we didn't. Like we just kind of hung out and I filmed a little bit on the side, but
oh cool.
On Headcase Films, if you want to check that out.
Shameless plug real quick.
But since then, I don't know if you've heard, they got accused of having a brain-eating amoeba.
Yeah.
And I don't know that was ever proven that it came from there, but they've invested a whole lot of money, and they're supposed to open up back in March, I think.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to have crystal clear water, so we'll see what happens with that.
Who knows, man?
Again, I think that is super cool. And I think it's going to push the sport for sure. Open it
Yeah,
up to some more avenues.
Is it 2028 that is supposed to be like because that's in Los Angeles, the 2028 Olympics.
Okay.
I think because they added surfing for 2020.
Right.
And I think 2028, it's rumored, it's not confirmed, that it may be at Kelly Slater's Surf Ranch, which would be pretty dope, in my opinion.
Yeah. You know, they ran a contest there, like a mock contest there.
Yeah.
And I think it worked out really well.
Yeah.
The only like grievance I heard, I guess, was it's just the same wave.
Yeah.
Every time. But at the same time, it's
still cool. Man.
Yeah. It's pretty incredible to get barreled for 45 seconds or whatever, if you so choose.
Yeah. Yeah. If you feel like it at the time,
If you can hang on that long.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's cool. I don't know what else you got.
What else? Oh man, did you hear about that dude in Colorado the trail runner who
Killed
killed a mountain lion
with his bare hand?
Bare hand. And I read about it. It wasn't just like he choked it. It was like a rear naked like guillotine choke, like hardcore UFC move.
Yeah,
because
see, I'm thinking like face to face.
No,
like,
yeah,
just like
no. From what like this one article made it seem like was like. Mountain lion attacked him. And he tried to like do the thing you're supposed to do, like get big and freak it out. And it's still like it was a young mountain lion, so it still was just like kind of aggro about it.
Yeah.
And he like hit it on the head with a rock, and it tried to take off, and he like pounced on. I was like, no, you're not getting away. You're not getting away, man. And like just rear choked it to death.
Wow.
Apparently, and so. It's pretty crazy.
I listen to Joe Rogan pretty often. And he was talking about it the other day.
Oh, was he? I'll have
of
to
course,
listen to that.
he always gets super animated about it all. And he's just like, that's the most craziest thing in the world.
It is, though.
Yeah.
It is.
That was a wild story that came out.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know. I really don't want this conversation to die.
I feel you, yeah.
But
have you checked out, I'll kind of plug some friends of mine. Have you checked out Poncha Surf Club by any chance?
I haven't. Oh, yeah, I think I am aware of that.
On like Instagram?
Yeah.
Those guys, Keegan would be like, if he's ever in North Louisiana, he'd be one to have on the podcast. Like, I'll throw him a shout out.
For sure.
Because, like, those guys are super cool, super chill.
Because there's like one spot on Grand Isle or somewhere.
Yeah, it's crazy. Some of the, I mean, it's not like, Jaws or anything, but it's big enough that you can surf it. And so when it is, it's kind of a rarity if it's firing, but like when it's firing, it's pretty fun. And so,
I'd love to just pop up down there on the beach and start filming. I don't even care about getting in the water. Like I just want to. That's something that I'm actively seeking is like skateboarding, filming skateboarding.
Okay.
I've been filming motocross for a little while, and skateboarding, BMX, anything like that. Like I have that eye, and I enjoy watching that kind of stuff.
Man.
And I see spots all the time, just rails and stairs and kind of stuff like that.
It's like someone needs to be on that right now.
Yeah, for sure. And there's a guy named, I don't know, are you a mountain biker by any means?
Man, it's one I've never really gotten into, just because like my money's always went somewhere else. And so it's like I would love to.
Real expensive.
Yeah, exactly.
Real quick.
Like I watch Red Bull Rampage every year, and like I nearly throw up because I'm like, oh my god, these guys are gonna die.
Yeah.
but and so I'll watch like Free Solo. The movie just came out about Alex Honnold, Free Solo in El Cap in Yosemite. I'm like, oh, that looks kind of fun. And then I watch these guys doing Red Bull, and I'm just like, I don't want to watch it, man.
Yeah, free soloing does not look fun to me. Dude, I didn't watch the actual movie, but I watched like some behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah.
And like just palm sweating the whole time, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to climb big walls, but I definitely want to be attached to a rope at the same time.
Well, the thing, like, there's kind of a misconception about free soloing. Like, there's literally 3 people in the world who do it, like a lot. And so it's not a very common thing. And even then, like, I mean, Alex spent like multiple years climbing that route over and over, going through sections like with rope till he literally could do it just like sitting on the ground like, all right, I'm going to do this, I'm going to send that, and kind of do it like that. And so it wasn't just like he walked in and was like, let's climb this today, you know, like it was but still it's insane, don't get me wrong, but there's just that misconception of like, oh dude, this guy just walked up and climbed a friggin' mountain, you know.
My favorite part about that whole deal is like he was like, I climbed up and I went over the top, and there's a bunch of people there, and of course I'm not wearing a rope, I'm just wearing shorts and my shoes, and I have no shirt on, so I just take my shoes off and walk on down. Nobody realized that I just made history and climbed this wall without any ropes.
Yeah, I remember I heard him say that, and there were people like, dude, you're hiking without shoes? That's insane. That's crazy, man. He's like, really?
Yeah. You have no idea what's crazy.
Yeah. And I remember him talking about it. Like, he had some friends who were like staying with him in the valley, And like one day they woke up and they were like, "Where's Alex?" And they just like walked up to El Cap and saw him up there and were like, "Oh my God, it's happening!" And like didn't want to cause a scene, so they just like chilled out and went, took off. But there's just that feeling of like, "Oh my God, it's happening right now!" You know, it had to be so cool.
Yeah, that's got to be exciting.
Yeah.
I've never been to Yosemite or anything like that.
Me either. No, man, that's the Mecca. That's my dream.
Yeah, for sure.
I would love to go to Yosemite.
Have you gotten to explore Colorado much?
No, Colorado is another one I haven't been to yet. I would love to go up there too and stuff. I would like to, like I said, Soul Paddleboard is out of Telluride, and they're kind of like a whitewater paddleboard brand. And so I've been talking with those guys, and hopefully, one day I can link up with them and try to get a trip up to Telluride and hang out with those guys. But
river surfing is a really cool thing that's kind of gaining some steam right now. I know there's some spots up around like Fayetteville, maybe Bentonville, that area.
Yeah, I've heard that. I don't know.
Like I was, when I was living in Denver, I had a job and I lost it, and I was just like, I'd go ride my bike for a couple miles and just like try to clear my head trying to find a job and all that kind of stuff. And one day, like there's a river trail that goes through Denver and it goes north and south, and I was just riding south one day and I came across a bunch of dudes that were surfing on the river, and I was like,
cool.
I was like, I didn't even know that existed at that point.
Yeah.
And so then I started looking it up, and I was like, man, there's got to be somewhere around here because we have so many waterways, and then it's like, oh no, they're all muddy rivers.
Yeah, no, there's no elevation to get that. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, the Ouachita's firing right now because the water's so high, but I don't think you're gonna,
Yeah, I was gonna ask you about that. Is that, have you been out there recently?
Not in a few weeks. Broke out the wetsuit and got out there a few weeks back. I mean, like I said, it's moving right now just because the water's so high, but kind
of sketchy.
Not really, no, because I mean you're tied to the board with the ankle strap and everything, and
Fair
then
enough.
have a PFD on. Like normally, I just had the PFD on the boat, but with it this high, I'm like, I need the little bit extra safety.
Yeah.
And so, but you're moving on it, so that's the fun part.
Yeah.
But,
and so you're just like putting in somewhere and having somebody else pick you up.
Yeah.
Down the river.
Yeah. Either get a ride up to the put out point and have my car down there, because that's the cool thing. Like most of the boards I ride are inflatable, and so like just throw them in the backpack and throw the backpack on the board, and you're good to go.
Sweet.
And so it's really easy.
They get that compact.
Yeah. Literally. I mean, a backpack maybe the size of this table or so,
wow.
high. And so you roll it up like a sleeping bag. It comes with your pump and everything. Pump it up, and you're good to go.
That's cool.
Yeah.
It's always funny. Like growing up in West Monroe, my parents were always like, the Ouachita River is the grossest thing in the world, and you should never go out in it. And I remember like late in high school, I got invited by one of my friends of mine. He was like, "Let's go wakeboarding." And I was like, "All right, and where are we gonna go? Darbone or something?" And he's like, "No, we're gonna go to the river." And I was like, all right, let's
Today's
do
the day I become a man.
Yeah. And like I probably went 20 times wakeboarding on the Ouachita River. And
I see people all the time out there doing it.
Yeah, and I mean, of course, there's stumps and logs and stuff like that, but I mean, it's a river, like it's what it is.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I don't think it's the cleanest thing in the world by any means,
No.
because we have a paper plant right there.
Yeah, but you're not drinking the water. So.
No, definitely not doing that. Luckily, I don't even have to have my brown bath water anymore living over here in Ruston.
Yeah, must be nice. Must be so nice.
Well, cool. You got anything else coming up? Anything
no.
you want to promote? Any shout outs you want to do?
Shout out Keegan, my man at Poncha Surf Club. Check those guys out on Instagram. They have some really awesome T-shirts, some really quality T-shirts, doing some cool stuff in New Orleans. Other than that, shout out the shop, H2Go. We got some stuff. Can't really talk about it yet, but like maybe some pretty cool festival type stuff coming on for downtown Monroe.
Awesome.
Some live music, vendors, stuff like that. So still in the works for that. So that's coming up. So definitely stay tuned for that. And other than that, man, thank you for letting me on here. I love it. It's been
thanks for making the trip over here.
Yeah, no
and
problem.
Getting involved, I appreciate it. Hopefully, I can get involved with some stuff that you guys got going on
dude, totally.
Need some help.
Yeah.
Just
let me know anytime you want to paddle. Hit me up. And we'll
do
it,
I'd love to do that.
Yeah.
If nothing else, let's go over to Shreveport and climb.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, any weekend you want to go, I'm down. And
cool, man.
Yeah, totally. But
awesome.
All right. Yeah,
well, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me, brother. It's been fun. It's been real.
For sure.
Yeah.